Hello everyone and welcome back to Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing the Saint Cloud 13-year Kentucky Bourbon. Let's go. Hello everyone and welcome back. So today in front of me we have the 13-year Saint Cloud Kentucky Bourbon. Now this one comes in at 122.1 proof and is a non-chill filtered single barrel. I do not have any information on the mash bill nor the distillery in which these bottles were produced, but the sample that was provided to me came from a barrel that produced around 130 bottles. All in all, 3 barrels were used in production and produced around 393 bottles in total. And you should see some of these bottles hidden in the shelves sometime in October. All right, guys, so I'm really excited to get into this one. So let's go ahead and take a look at the color really quick. Really nice, dark copper color. Coats the glass very well. Very oily. Heavy legs running down. Yeah, nice. Yeah, very nice, like a dark copper, dark amber color. Now I've let this one sit out for about 15 minutes. It does have a little bit of an alcohol punch to it when you first pour it. So I let it sit out for about 15 minutes to get some air. So let's go ahead and go into the nose really quick, see what we get. Yeah, so after letting that sit for about 15 minutes, it definitely opened up. You know, when I first opened it up, it had a very strong alcohol, pungent note to it. Burned the nose a little bit. But now I'm getting like a little bit of apple on the nose, a little bit of allspice. It's definitely has some citrus there too. I'm definitely getting some some lemon, like a nice little lemon note to it. It's a lemon peel. Now to me, this one, and again, I don't know what the mash bill is, but I feel like this has a higher rye and a higher barley mash bill. And again, this is just my opinion of it. If someone knows what the mash bill is on this, please leave it in the comments for me, just so I know. But yeah, definitely, I think there's definitely a higher rye. I think that's where I'm getting some of that lemon from. But there's definitely, I feel there's also some barley, a higher barley content in there as well. Maybe a nice banana bread a little bit further into the glass. Overall, though, pretty nice nose. Like I said, just, when you get it, let it sit out for a little bit, open up, swirl it around a little bit, introduce it to some air, and then go into it. Let's go into the taste, guys. Cheers. Yeah, so this one drinks a little hot. I think it's a mixture of the proof and possibly that high rye. As soon as it hits the tongue, it definitely has a nice strong burn to it. Again, at 122 proof, it's not shy there. But again, I think some of it may have to do with the high rye. Feels like definitely a higher like an alcohol burn more than an actual rye spice burn. But overall, getting some nice spices in there. You get some of that citrus. You get some vanilla, a little bit of almond, like a little bit of nuttiness on like the middle of the palate. So spices in that alcohol burn kind of control the front of the palate as soon as it hits it. Flavors start to roll out right around the middle of the palate. Definitely getting like an almond note for sure. Almond note is definitely there. A little bit of lemon. Finish doesn't linger on like I was hoping it would, but it's still there, and it's actually a very strong finish. It just goes away very quickly. Yeah, again, very spicy on that front. Middle of the palate. I mean, I'm actually getting maybe a little bit of ginger. A little bit of ginger, some almond for sure. And then towards the finish, I get it's very peppery, and I think that may have something to do with some of that rye that's in there. So you do get a little bit of that lemon. You get some nuttiness, get some almond, a little hint of ginger, which is kind of unique. It's almost Scotch like in a sense, than it is more of a solid bourbon. It does have an interesting Scotchish aspect to it. Let's go in for the last sip, guys. Cheers. Yeah, so front of the palate, definitely spice dominated. And could be a mixture again of the like an alcohol punch. Could be a mixture of that rye. Definitely spicy on the front of the palate. Again, middle of the palate, I'm getting some of that almond, a little bit of ginger. There's kind of a mixed berry aspect in there towards the middle to the back of the palate and into the finish. So definitely some white pepper, some lemon. To me, this one's very unique. Again, not knowing what the mash bill is and not knowing who the distiller is, it's hard to say who or where it came from or what that mash bill is. Again, I definitely feel like it's a higher rye and a higher barley content. But I think after letting it sit for a little while and open up, I think the flavors kind of developed a little bit more. I think it took more of that initial alcohol punch out of it and kind of developed those flavors a little bit more on the palate. For me, I could definitely see this being a B, a daily drinker of mine. It would have to be something though where, number one, it would have to be available, which I know some of these bottlings are very, very limited. So finding these on the shelves is not going to be very easy. That in that aspect of it, I would give it a C. But for the flavors that I am pulling out of here, I mean, you really got to kind of dig deep for some of them, but some of the flavors that I am pulling out of here, I would actually like in a daily drinker. So overall, I'd definitely give this a B. And I do want to thank Ray Walker, who I've been in touch with for a while now, talking to him back and forth about what he's doing and what the future is looking like. And we spoke about his first release and then this release. Got a lot of information, the information I could out of him, and I couldn't think of more for this sample. So I thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. So if you're looking for reviews of bourbons, ryes, and some of those Dusties, hit that subscribe button and bell notification to be alerted of any upcoming reviews or live streams. You can also find me on Instagram at Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. And until next time, guys, stay dusty.